What up, people? Welcome to another edition of Mike Steph's WrestleMania Memories. This time is WrestleMania Memories on the go. We are up to WrestleMania 26, emanating from Glendale, Arizona, from Cardinal Stadium? I forgot what they call that big piece of tin in Arizona, but yeah, WrestleMania 26. There was a couple of matches. The main match on the card was Undertaker defending his streak against Shawn Michaels, once again in a rematch from their WrestleMania 25 Classic. But this time, in order for Michaels to get the right to go for the streak of the Undertaker, the undefeated streak of the Undertaker, he had to put his career on the line. See what I said? From WrestleMania 24, there was a thread that was going to go through these next 6 WrestleManias. But yeah, so that was the main event. But on the undercard, we had such matches as the implosion of Legacy. Yes, the faction that the Viper, Randy Orton, actually ended up turning face in a triple threat match against his proteges, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. And of course, Randy Orton came out on top. Like, what, you think he wasn't going to come out on top? Also in the undercard, Triple H, the cerebral assassin himself, the Game, winding down his career, but the Game nevertheless giving newcomer Sheamus, yes, it's been that long ago that Sheamus was considered a newcomer. But here we are, c'est la vie. So Sheamus got the rub from Triple H by Triple H squashing him in about 7 minutes. Yeah. You know, those are the days, you know, pick up the golden shovel. Oh, my bad. The golden sledgehammer. Then we had a Money in the Bank match won by Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger, also known as Jake Hager of AEW fame or infamy, however you want to term it. He won the Money in the Bank and cashed in the very next day against the winner of this match. And that match would be Chris Jericho defending his world championship against the rated R superstar Edge. In a match that was okay. Edge won the Royal Rumble, coming back exceedingly fast from Achilles injury. And the storyline behind this match was Edge and Chris Jericho, they were tag team partners. And when Edge got injured, Chris Jericho threw him under the bus and started goading him and started saying, well, you know, that's the difference between me and Edge. Edge is forever injured. Me, on the other hand, I never get injured. I am a paragon of virtue. Dare I say, I am a man, an Iron Man, if you will, as I do this illegal U-turn while I'm giving y'all your WrestleMania memory. Because I am just that guy. Anyway, so we had this match in which everybody thought Edge was going to win, but for some reason, Edge was not catching on as a babyface upon his return. I wonder why. Because he was a heel, and the only reason he was a babyface is because he got hurt? Maybe that was the reason? Maybe the reason was Jericho, even though he was a heel, was a popular heel, a cool heel, a heel in which he got heat, but he got heat in such entertaining ways that when Edge came back bland, but still proclaiming himself to be the rated R superstar, it fell flat. Yes, it fell flatter than a doornail. So that was that. So then Jack Swagger while I parked during this WrestleMania memory, if these cars would get out my way so I can park, But of course they won't, because society at large, and especially mankind, and not talking about Mick Foley, are, as I would get ready to bump into the BMW behind me, are selfish. But yeah, so Jack Swagger, a heel himself, cashed in on Chris Jericho the very next SmackDown. It might have been SmackDown. But regardless, no, I'm not talking. He cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on Chris Jericho due to Edge attacking Chris Jericho, leaving him prone for the cash in. Then we had this match for the WWE Championship, which was not the WrestleMania main event. A match that was a long time coming, but it just didn't have the pizzazz. And that was John Cena versus Batista. These are the two that I talked about way back in WrestleMania 21 that was positioned to be the pillars of the company, that was positioned to be the future. Tell you the truth, Batista was pegged to be the future, and John Cena ended up getting the ear of Vince McMahon or getting the behind of Vince McMahon. I don't know. You can check, you can term it however you want. And he became the face. Batista at this time, he was injury prone, unfortunately, and he would end up being bitter. Turned on Rey Mysterio. He turned on Rey Mysterio, and because he was like, "You playing with me? You don't take me seriously? You think I'm playing? I'm not playing." And he commenced to whip Rey Mysterio's behind, for lack of a better term, or actually a PG term, behind. Then he became Vince. He literally got the Money in the Bank cash in without even having a ladder match, or without even having a contract. After John Cena had retained, I believe, an Elimination Chamber. I don't know if it's a chamber or not. I can't remember, because all these particular years run into each other. They blend into each other. So I don't remember, but I do remember John Cena had just defended the championship. He was out of it, and Vince McMahon came out and granted Batista a championship match on the spot, in which Batista bludgeoned John Cena and won the championship. And of course, WrestleMania, they go against each other, and John Cena wins. And shortly thereafter, I want to say maybe a pay-per-view or two, they had a rematch. And after that rematch, the Monday after the rematch, Batista said, "You know what? I quit." And he was gone from WWE. If this is WrestleMania 26, he was gone from WWE for 4 years. He didn't return until the build-up to WrestleMania 30. But as I said, the main event was The Undertaker laying the Heartbreak Kid to rest in a match that was totally different than their WrestleMania 25 Classic. Was it a good match? Yes. I want to say Undertaker got injured early in that match, and that kind of hampered it. Undertaker and HBK had a more methodical match than they did at WrestleMania 25, but the emotion was palpable because, once again, is HBK going to retire? Is The Undertaker going to be beat? And I really felt that the one difference in this match with the drama was, if you put the retirement step on there, being the fact that HBK had done everything but beat The Undertaker for his streak, and if he didn't do it in WrestleMania 25, he wasn't going to do it a year later. And to be honest, HBK was gone for the majority of 2009. He didn't return until the end of 2009. And his sole mission was not the championship, not winning the Royal Rumble, not winning the Elimination Chamber, but getting a rematch with The Undertaker. He was obsessed with ending The Undertaker's streak. And that obsession ended up being his demise. And I believe The Undertaker said that in one of the promos leading up. This is still when WrestleMania felt like WrestleMania. The builds to WrestleMania felt like WrestleMania. Shoot. What other matches were there? Oh, we had CM Punk. I believe this is where he was he with the Straight Edge Society? Yeah, I think he was I think this is when he started the Straight Edge Society, and he was going against Rey Mysterio Jr., and he had did some diabolical things to Rey Mysterio and his family and sung a diabolical song, a happy birthday song to Rey Mysterio's daughter. In the lead up, he was trying to get Rey Mysterio to join the Straight Edge Society. Why? I don't know. I mean, if Rey did have, he had a mask. And I think he ended up later on, maybe a month or two after WrestleMania, having a mask versus hair match. And of course, CM Punk lost. Had to shave off his hair. And then he paraded around in the mask for a while, which was entertaining. This is CM Punk that I liked. This is CM Punk that I adored. This is CM Punk that was authentic, at least authentic to who he proclaimed to be. Not this person that's about to main event for the first time ever, legitimate main event for the first time ever, WrestleMania 42, but we got a ways to go before we get there. So yeah, I really think that's about it for WrestleMania 26. No, yeah, that was pretty much it. Can't talk about the women. Yeah, can't talk about the women because the women, unfortunately, did not start getting prominent ring time, prominent positions on the WrestleMania card. Believe this, for another 6 years. Yeah, this is now that you look at everything looking backwards, and now we have WrestleMania 42. I believe there's going to be 4 or 5 women's matches on the card, and the Women Revolution and all that stuff. Yeah, it wasn't that case. Wasn't the case for that at all back in 2010. You know, women in WWE was only for eye candy, arm candy, and headlocks and suplexes, if you know what I mean. So yeah, no reason to drag this on any further. That's it. I will check y'all tomorrow, or let's put it this way, the next episode of Mike Steps WrestleMania Memories. Goodbye.